Hello, we're going to be doing this project based on an artist named Pablo Picasso. So let's learn a little bit about him. This will be part one of the dove, and I just want to go over some information with you about Picasso and understand his life. Pablo Picasso is one of the greatest artists of the 20th century. He was born in Malaga, Spain in 1881 and died in France in 1973. Picasso's father was an art teacher at the local school. He encouraged his son to paint and draw. He wanted Picasso to become a great artist someday. Picasso's painting style changed over the period of his life more than any other great artist. He was always trying new and different things, and the painting above was done when he was only 15 years old. This painting was done when Picasso was 57. There's quite a difference between the two paintings, isn't there? Sometimes Picasso would paint things that looked very flat. Sometimes he would paint things that looked so round that you might be able to pick them up off the painting. When Picasso was 19, he left Spain and went to Paris, France. Some of the first paintings he did there look a little bit like the work of other famous French artists. This painting reminds many people of the work done by Toulouse-Lautrec. Some of Picasso's other early paintings remind people of Van Gogh, Gauguin, and Monet. The Blue Period, then something happened. Picasso's paintings changed. His work became different from anyone else's. His best friend died, and Picasso felt alone and sad, and at the same time, none of his paintings were selling, and he was almost starving to death. Because of his mood, Picasso began to paint with lots of blue. Blue can be a very sad color. He made all the people in the paintings look very lonely and sad. Some people thought Picasso's blue paintings were great. Others, including Picasso's father, thought they were just too strange. This meant his paintings were controversial. The Rose Period. Well, Picasso's Blue Period ended when he met a girl named Fernande. Fernande and Picasso fell in love, and soon a happier color started showing up in Picasso's paintings. This was the beginning of the Rose Period. Not only were Picasso's colors happier during the Rose Period, but he started painting happier things. Picasso painted a lot of circus people during this time, and he often painted them with their animals. The Rose Period didn't last very long because Picasso found a new way to paint that was actually very exciting and different. Cubism. Cubism was the next style of painting that Picasso had developed and made famous. This is a Cubist painting of one of Picasso's friends, and the painting looks like he's been broken up into little cubes. That's where the name Cubism comes from. Look closely. Can you see the man's face? Let's see, take a look at this. Can you see the man's face in this painting? I can spot it right here. Do you see the nose, mouth, and the eyes? Can you notice his hands, a bottle, a glass, and maybe his pet cat? Can you find anything else? So let's see. I believe the bottle is here. His hands are here. I see the bottle and the cat. I'm not quite sure. Where do you think you see the cat? Well, I know I have a cat right here. and a couple of other ones that are being very noisy, always when I'm doing my class. So Cubism is one of the most important periods in the history of modern art. For hundreds of years, artists tried very hard to paint things so they would look real. Then Picasso came along and started to paint people and things that didn't look the way people and things were supposed to look. Picasso was always shocking people, but when he started painting people who had eyes and noses in the wrong places, well, even some of his closest friends thought he'd gone too far. Picasso kept working with Cubism and changed it over the years. It became much more colorful and flatter looking. It also became easier to see what Picasso was painting. In the painting, The Three Musicians, this one, you can see the three musicians and tell what instruments they're playing. In another style that popped up for a while, Picasso painted people who looked more real again. Picasso had just visited Rome, a city filled with statues and monuments, and when he returned from his trip, he did a series of paintings in which people look like they've been chiseled out of stone, like statues. In 1937, something happened that made Picasso paint his most powerful and serious painting. During a civil war that was going on in Spain, the small town of Guernica was destroyed by bombs and thousands of innocent people were hurt. Picasso became very angry and used everything he knew to make a painting that would show the world how foolish war was, and he named the painting after the town that was destroyed. And you can see this is it. Picasso used darker colors, cubism, and lots of expression to get his angry feelings across in this painting. He also used size. This painting is huge. It's 12 feet high and 25 feet wide. It'd be like the size of a classroom wall. Many of Picasso's paintings look funny because of the way he moves eyes, noses, and chins around. The amazing thing about these paintings is how much they look like the real person. Look at the painting of Picasso's best friend, Jamie Sabartis. On the opposite page, how does it look like the same man showing in the painting below? So this is his friend right here in the bottom corner, and this is how he painted him. And notice the unusual placement of his nose, which is a profile, a side view of a person's face. The chin is kind of distorted and the eyes aren't right apart from each other. One is much lower than the other. So he did play a lot with the features on the faces in his Cubist paintings. Bless you. The thing that made Picasso such a great artist was his originality. He had the imagination to try new and different things through his entire life. Picasso lived to be 92 years old, and he was a great painter, but he was great at other things too. He made sculptures, prints, drawings, beautifully colored dishes and bowls. He even made costume and scenery for plays. Okay, so we're going to be drawing today. All you'll need is a piece of drawing paper. I would recommend the mixed media paper that we've been using. And we're going to be just needing a Sharpie, a pencil, and an eraser for today. Now this is Picasso. Here's a photograph of Picasso in his studio working. You can see it's a beautiful space, great light. So we're going to be focusing on a dove. And with the onset of the Civil War, Pablo Picasso was increasingly involved with the international peace movement. for which he created a universal emblem, the dove. With this image and others depicting friendship, human intimacy, and jubilar celebrations of life, Picasso communicated to the world his desire for peace, compassion, and happiness. So we'll just look at a few of his drawings and paintings that he has done. And we're going to be drawing our dove today and then working on the rest next week. So you can see in this example a dove in flight, very simplistic drawing. Nope. And just some scattered flowers in the background. You'll notice this one with the dove centered in the middle with what seems to be a group of people dancing around it. And just some simple lines. These are gestured drawings showing movement of the people dancing around the dove. Here's a very simple painting done of a dove. As you can see, it's a contour line drawing, which means it's a very simple outline of the dove, and he has in his beak some greenery. And here's another interesting dove with a portrait in the center of the dove's body. And last one I have to show you is a dove in the center, the highlight, the focal point, the emphasis of this painting, and people surrounding the dove of different colors. So it's a very interesting painting, and it was done around 1951. Okay. So what you'll need is a piece of drawing paper, mixed media paper, definitely. We're just going to draw an outline of a dove. I'm going to use a Sharpie marker. I'm planning on using some watercolors for the background. So just today, we're going to be drawing the dove out and then continuing our art. So find the center of your paper. This again is it's mixed media paper, and it is 7 by 10 inches, and I use this one quite a lot because of it's very flexible. So from the center, you're just going to move your finger over towards the side, the left side. And we're going to make a little dot where we're going to start the beak, and it's a very simple drawing. So we're going to make a very simple triangle with a line going right through the center of the beak. And behind the beak, we're going to be drawing kind of a very simple, not quite circular, looks more like a rounded triangle of the eye, done in the same style that Picasso had drawn his doves. So you're going to go to the top of the beak and make a curved line curving up and down. Okay, and then go back to the bottom part of the beak, and then you're going to curve in, and then the line is going to go out just slightly. So we're going to start the wing, the open wings. We're going to make kind of a J shape, go crossing right over the neckline, and you're going to take that line going up, 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 up at an angle, and then make a curve, and we're going to be drawing it looks like the basic outline of the feathers. So you're going to come in and go out and in again, out, in, and you're going to do a couple of wavy lines to finish the first wing. Okay, now let's go to the bottom and make the bottom wing. So we're going to go right from the bottom of that line in slightly, just a little bit, and you're going to make kind of a curve up, and then you're going to take that down at an angle and then go right up again. And you're going to come in and go out. And these lines are much shorter, these curved lines. And then for the very last part of our drawing, you're going to cross over the wing, and then we're going to make the tail. Okay, so you're going to just go up at an angle, come down, go out again, out one more time, and then take that line going up. And there we have the basic outline of our dove. So we're going to stop right there, and what we're going to do is just gently erase any of the pencil lines that may be existing. I have my helper here, who always seems to they always come out when I'm doing my artwork. It's kind of interesting. And then this is Chip. Okay, so for next time I see you, we're going to be exploring some different ideas for the background. We are going to be cutting our dove out. So when you're done, what I'd like you to do is cut very carefully along the lines and cut your dove out, and be prepared for next week's class, where we'll develop a background for our project. And until next week, thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.